Hi, my name's Thomas Gosling. I'm an optometrist practicing in Denver, Colorado. I want to bring awareness to a change in visual demands that has occurred quite quickly over time. Let's look back at the past 30 years. In the 1980s, computers came out, and we used these things at about 3 to 4 feet away from our viewing distance. This demand on the eyes from the computers eventually led to what we called computer vision syndrome. But let's fast forward. If you look back into 2007, the first smartphone came out, just 10 years ago. We now hold these phones much closer than we have ever looked at any screen before, typically held at about 8 to 14 inches in distance. These are backlit displays and very difficult for our eyes to accommodate on. And we're doing everything on these devices, gaming, tweeting, texting. Let's take a look at the tablet. If we realize the tablet came out in April of 2010, in seven and a half years, this device has outsold computers. So we must understand that the world has changed in the way that we perceive it, with the demands on our eyes being ever so great. In 2017, HOYA conducted a global focus group to see how people were utilizing their eyes and to see how they're using their devices and alternating their viewing distances. They broke the group into 2 different groups. What they found was these groups were spending on average 8 to 10 hours a day viewing screens, with a peak up to 15 hours a day. So the focus group conclusion actually came down to that most people reported some kind of discomfort, whether it was the eyes, the neck, or the back. But visually, they also noticed that their vision was fluctuating, and there was quite a strain to focus. They were getting headaches that ranged from slightly dull to throbbing, and others actually noted that they were sleepy, tired, and they lost concentration. The focus group conclusion also found that, hey, these complaints really weren't taken that serious. And they found them that it was a part of life. It was a normal consequence of the demand on the eyes. They really didn't take the symptoms seriously. Dry eyes, blink rates decreasing, increased dryness, increased light sensitivity. That accommodative system is much more sensitive to lights, especially headlights coming at you directly. That's one of the key questions I like to ask my patients is sensitivity to light, and especially headlights. And rubbing on the eyes. Some of the main questions I like to ask though is, how often are my patients utilizing a smartphone, a tablet, a computer? Are they reading? And then I correlate how frequently they're using these devices with the symptoms. And if these symptoms are high and the amount of time they're spending on these devices is high, it definitely gives me a reason to discuss this with my patient and to delve in deeper on how best to relieve these symptoms. I also like to ask my patients how many hours a night they're sleeping, because if I know how many hours a night they're sleeping, then I know how many hours they're awake. And if I know they're awake for 16, 17 hours of the day, and they're spending 12, 14, 16 of those hours that they're telling me at near, then we really want to make that discussion as what their primary pair of glasses really should be, or what they should be doing on a regular basis. So the focus group came to a conclusion that they would be curious to know if there is a product out there that could help them and help relieve the digital eye strain. Something that can protect versus fixing it, something that can postpone or lessen the symptoms of digital eye strain. But they really wanted to know that, first of all, can you prove to me that it works? Can you give me a demonstration? You know, you've explained it and I understand, I have it, but I'm not going to purchase something that I don't know is really going to work. One of the best things to do is to offer your patients solutions such as the Sync 3 lens. The Sync 3 lens is a lens that has an additive boost that gives your patient that relaxation effect throughout the day as they're looking at their devices and their near screens. The Sync lens actually comes in 3 different powers. It comes in a Sync 5, which is a 0.57. It comes in a Sync 9, which is a 0.95, and a Sync 1.3, which comes in a 1.32 dioptric boost. Pretty much in my office, I'm using the Sync lens on every patient as a standard single vision lens. Pretty much anyone who spends more than 2 hours a day looking at digital devices should be in a lens that offers some type of boost, whether it's a 0.57 up to the 1.32 diopters. What I love about HOYA is always innovating new technology. They're always ahead of the game. And with the Sync 3, they've come out with 3 different distinctive zones versus just one standard lens that covers everybody. And as doctors, it's important to understand what lens may work best. These are tools that can be used with your patients to allow them the greatest amount of relief. We really need to understand that single vision lenses should not be looked at the same way anymore. In the past, it was simple to prescribe a single vision lens to someone under the age of 40, But now with the new demands, we must rethink this. If you take a look at who wears typically single vision lenses, it's going to be your children, your young adults, those millennials between 20 and 37. And there are also presbyopes that don't want to wear glasses. There's a paradigm shift in the direction of lens prescribing, where it used to be single vision lens, and then it moved into progressives. And now we have an in-between. We have these boost lenses that will give relaxation and accommodative support all throughout the day to allow more comfort and improved precision visually, which in turn will improve the quality of life.